Hello everybody and welcome to the first series in years that I did not abandon within 2 weeks of starting it. Last week we spent a lot of time hunting pointless worms who weren't kind enough to grant us any of the items that we were after. Desperate to get the video out, I decided to score a tiny win, that being the donkey mount. And with that we are rolling for the next weekly task list again. This one is going to be quite a doozy. We are going to go for the beginner level once more. Like I mentioned before, I don't want to go for adept until I hit level 100. On the creatures list we don't see anything special. The only thing of note, the 39 Gozlers. Those tiny demons can be hunted in Yalahar along with necromancers, who can drop boosts of haste, which I would very much like to have. You could also hunt necromancers along with the 57 crypt shamblers on the list, but I did not realize that until later. Thankfully, the delivery task list is going to save us from this one. The first thing that I noticed about the task list is the Reaper Lance. We are meant to deliver 13 of those, which is not a lot, but I do not have a good way to consistently obtain those. However, the Reaper Lances unlock a very interesting possibility. One of the creatures dropping the Reaper Lances are Dwarg's Flesh Hunters. Those tiny green buggers are notable only for living together with Venom Snipers, which are often hunted by Ironman for the rare drop of a bast skirt. Both the Reaper Lances and the bast skirts are a 1 in 1000 drops from their respective dwargs. The 3 bast skirts are necessary to unlock the services of the sweaty Cyclops in Abdendriel, and we need his help in order to prepare an obsidian knife, which might come in handy later. Considering I have to deliver 13 Reaper Lances, the chances are I will be able to get the 3 bast skirts before I run out of Reaper Lance deliveries. In other words, given enough time, I am guaranteed to obtain the bast skirts this week, which I would very much like to do. The idea of completing this important milestone that I never really planned for got me so giddy that I decided to ignore the weekly hunting list for now and go straight for dwargs. Within minutes of hunting on stream, I was able to score my first bast skirt, so RNG was finally smiling at us. As soon as the stream ended, I decided to take care of the weekly tasks instead, because they still offer so much XP that I do not want to pass on them. Not to mention, our main goal on this character is to obtain the Trapper outfit, so I definitely don't want to miss out on the points. And so I went for a quick relaxing hunt in the Laguna Isles surface to kill some crabs, turtles, etc. In the depths of the Laguna Isles, I was able to hunt the blood crabs, then it took me about an hour to get rid of the mercury blobs in Yalahar, and then also in Yalahar, in the Magician's Quarter, I dealt with the Gozlers while prioritizing necromancers. Unfortunately, they did not drop anything of note. Then it was another one of those awful rabbit wolf tasks. I pray every week that I will see a patch note that says Zipsot removed them from the lists, but well, you know. Next I killed some bears and moved on to crypt shamblers, because bears were way too slow. For crypt shamblers I went to Undead Sternum, and other than the massive XP drop I got nothing to show for it. I finished the bears, and after that it was time for teramites. Funny enough, I never hunted these creatures before, though it was my favorite creature to summon as a druid. And that marks all the weekly tasks out of the way. I was fully locked in and prepared to spend the rest of the week hunting for the bast skirts. Lucky enough, that did not happen because I got ridiculously lucky and dropped 2 bast skirts on the first day within like an hour of each other. It may seem like I have nothing left to do this week, but that is actually not true. In the delivery task list, I also had Gauls Bandages. Those of course drop from mummies, and quite commonly at that, which meant I was finally going to be able to finish a delivery. My spirit of multitasking wouldn't let me just hunt the mummies themselves, so I decided to go to the tombs in Ankramun, where I could also hunt some more interesting creatures like dragons, necromancers and vampires. I was especially interested in the dragons, since I need a dragon shield drop to complete my obsidian knife. Unfortunately, that was not going to happen, because in order to access the tomb with the dragons in it, you need some scarab coins, which I simply did not have. So instead I found the single tomb that allows access to floor 3 and contains a single necromancer that I can hunt in hopes of dropping those sweet boosts of haste. After some hours of quality hunting, I got an unexpected drop, a vampire shield from one of the vampires. It's a lighter and more defensive alternative to the tower shield that I had before. I was actually sort of hoping I wouldn't get this drop, because I really like my set currently. The matching gold and black accents of knight armor and tower shield were so perfect, and unfortunately I have to say goodbye to those, because defense comes first. It did not take me much longer in order to collect all the necessary ghost bandages. And with that, the first delivery task on my account was finally done. And now you may again think that I will have nothing more to do, but there was one more thing that I did not mention. If you look at my delivery task list, there is this thing called shimmering beetles. Those drop from more or less every single creature that you can meet in Fairies, the land of the Fae. There is a rather lengthy and slightly annoying quest that you need to complete before you can access the land. But it just so happens, I already did some steps in the previous weeks. And by some steps I really mean a single step of picking up the old Legends book that you can find in the Hunter/Boar/Ghost Wolf cave. And so, having taken off some random errands for mystical creatures, trying to gain their trust only to be able to murder their kinsmen in their homeland, I have finally stepped into Fairies. While I am quite familiar with this land, having played an Ironman locked only to this area, you guys watching might still not know why I came here. There are only two reasons really, one big and one small. The small reason is the Wood Cape, a very cool helmet alternative for paladins that offers reduced defense but increased resistance against earth and +1 distance fighting level. Considering that a good paladin doesn't really get hit often, at least not on our level, those couple points of armor won't matter much, or rather it will not matter much from now on, because we got the Wood Cape from the first fawn that we killed, before I could even reach the center of Fairies where the city lies. The second bigger reason for me being here are the Boots of Haste. These boots, as the name implies, offer you some additional speed, and they happen to drop quite often, either from nymphs or more commonly from the Swan Maidens. Technically, we are still a little bit too low level to hunt here, not to mention our gear is not nearly good enough to out-DPS large crowds of these creatures. And also I am trying to play very conservatively and not spend too much money on potions and supplies. There's a number of tricks that allow you to kite creatures and abuse the random protection zones as well as the homing mechanic of the creatures. Still, the nymphs and the Swan Maidens happen not to spawn close enough to the city for us to utilize these tricks too often. Since I was level 80 already, I decided to swap from strong potions to great potions, and also to load my quiver with onyx arrows to pack that extra punch in case I need it. The reason why I felt comfortable spending so much money on better supplies is simply because Fairies is basically an OTS. Every single creature drops great stuff that you can sell for a lot of money, and if you hunt here long term you are going to be rich. Sadly, a long term hunting was not going to be granted to us, because I quickly looted the Boots of Haste from a Swan Maiden. All in all, this was a very successful week. Not only did we manage to finish our first delivery task, we also got so many great gear upgrades. Vampire Shield, Wood Cape and the Boots of Haste. We are now looking like a proper paladin. And let me tell you, the pace will keep up into the next week, but you will have to find out when I am done with that video. Until then, sit tight and I will see you in the next one. Also subscribe.